Hello guys and welcome back to another video on my channel that shift happens. I'm really sorry that I haven't been doing much in the office, games room, whatever you want to call it. I've been extremely busy. It's been Christmas, it's been New Year. It's been really difficult for me to get time and ideas together. But, you know, I need to get back into doing these rating my subscribers cards, so I thought what better time than while I'm actually sat in my office on a lunch break from work. So we're going to try and squeeze it all into that. I've got an hour. But on the episode today, we have got one car actually that it used to be my dream car. I was adamant I was going to own one of these one day, and it is the A45 Mercedes A45. Lovely lady owner called Bryony. Apologise if I've said that incorrectly. I'll put her Instagram tag in the video description. But yeah, she's got a lovely A45 in black, and this car, whenever I see it, if I ever see it, because sometimes it's down the road at our local cars and coffee place, if I ever see this car, it's such an eye catcher. You can see how much work's gone into it, how much care and attention this car gets. So without further ado, let's get some photos on the screen. So whilst I go through the photos and have them up on the display, I will just give a description of the car that I have been given ever so kindly from Bryony. So here we go. Here's a bit about the car and my ownership of it. So the car is a 2016 Mercedes A45, which I have owned since August 2021. After searching for the perfect one for 6 months, I bought the car completely stock with just 12,000 miles on the clock and almost every optional extra available. First of all, well done, because that sounds like the absolute perfect car. It sounds like you were really searching for that perfect car and you found it. So 12,000 miles on the clock, brilliant. When I got my Rocco, again, she was only a year old and she'd barely done any miles. Although, to be fair, that's kind of expected after a year old. But I mean, you got yours in 2021 and the car is a 2016. So only 12,000 miles on the clock is pretty impressive. So during my ownership, I have done the following mods. So you've got airlift performance, 3H air suspension with Coca-Cola themed boot build. I absolutely love that. If I ever had something like that, I'd want it like Monster themed. Or I used to be addicted to Red Bull, so I would have chosen that. But I love when people create these themes in their car. I just think it's so awesome, and it shows that person's personality. That's a brilliant one. Rotiform ZMO alloys in custom silver finish. You've got a Maxton design splitter, rear spats and spoiler extension, TRC side skirts, EST with pipe across intake, centre resonator delete, front and rear strut braces, carbon wing mirrors and door handles. Lovely. Starlight headliner, something I've always wanted. I absolutely love this. I don't have a thing about stars, but I love stars, like, in general. I just think adding that inside a car is just excellent. Clear tail lights, can't read this word, Panamericana front grille, wow, and a rear wiper delete. So you can see here you have spent a lot of money on the car, especially with the airlift. I can only imagine that would have been quite expensive. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I do have a video she's very kindly sent me, so I'm going to pop the video on the screen now to hear that beautiful exhaust sound. I've got no words. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love an exhaust. I just love it. I don't care if it sounds ASBO. It's great. So many people out there that hate loud exhaust. Don't get me wrong, a lot of them can be too loud, like give you a heart attack going down the street kind of loud. Sounds like a gun's going off. But I think when it's really tastefully done like that, You get a couple of pops and bangs in there, nothing too major. Maybe a little flame at the exhaust, you know, nothing too extreme. But yeah, I love it. As soon as that is what draws my attention to a car. I mean, if you can hear it before you see it, 9 times out of 10, it's worth looking at. The amount of times I've turned my head for something that you really would not expect a nice sound to come out of is quite funny. But yeah, it's absolutely, this is just a stunning example. I love the carbon fibre as well. Let's take a closer look at this starry thing you got going on. Look at that. Anyone who doesn't want that in your car, have a word with yourself. A lot of people don't like this mod. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews with it, but I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I keep saying brilliant a lot, but honestly, I mean, look at it. And it creates a really nice, like, ambient lighting. I know some Mercedes have ambient lighting. I'm not sure if the older models do, but it does create that ambient lighting effect. And it's just such a lovely modification to have. I also want to take a closer look at the boot build. As you can see there's the Coca-Cola. Yeah, look at the back end of that. Tail lights, the rear diffuser, it all just sits so nicely. Alloys, lovely choice. Probably, yeah, I couldn't think of a better choice for those alloys. It's, just look at how that sits. Sorry, you find that when I'm doing these videos, there's some times where I just sit and pause, and it's because I am genuinely just taking in what I'm looking at. This is a video where you can see my pure, honest opinions and reactions to these cars, and it just puts a smile on my face because it's just such a beautiful example. I love the way it sits, air ride. There's nothing better. Like, I see people in car parks sometimes, they're literally just going for a food shop and they'll air out in the middle of Sainsbury's car park. But it just looks so good. And for photo shoots, any content creation, car shows, you slam it to the ground and it just looks amazing. Yeah, I'm really happy to have this. I'm glad you reached out to me because I'm glad to have this on my channel so that I can share it with other people and, you know, hopefully we can get other people's opinions. So thank you, Bryony, for sending me all those photos and the video and the spec list. It's really helpful for when I do these videos because it gives me something to go through. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about why I actually wanted this car. It was a good few years ago now. It was before, I mean, I've always loved the Mark VI Golf, but before that, I was heavily set on getting this car. The A45 or the A45S. A35s I do like, but it was the 45 for me. And I don't really, like, quite honestly, I don't know what changed. I don't know if it was the Mark VI took over. But yeah, at one point, I was heavy set on getting this car. But I wasn't in the right financial position. You know, they are quite expensive. So yeah, I remember when I was heavy set on getting one of these, I ended up being quite an impulsive person and quite impatient. If I want something, I want it now. It's one of the things about me that I'm really trying to change because it's not nice having this own battle inside your head when you want something and you can't have it. It's terrible. So I actually found an A-Class, right? It wasn't the A45, but it was a white A-Class and it had the A45, I think it's called an aero kit or something on it. It basically looked exactly like the A45 and I had my heart set on getting that. I remember I was going to do PCP finance. I literally had not thought it through. I think my family were worried about me, but I was like, nope, I want it. And I'd decided on it before even driving it. I've never driven an A-Class in my life. So I went to, I think they moved it to my local garage. At the time I was living in Southampton. So they moved it to my local garage and I went along and I test drove it. And I can quite honestly say it was such a disappointment because obviously I had the mindset of driving an A45, looking at it, I was like, this is great. It didn't have the power. It was, I think it was a 1.6, no turbo, anything like that, just 1.6, no mods to the engine. It was purely just exterior modifications, which I will also add really needed some touch-ups because stuff like the paint was peeling off them. It looked very poorly installed. Anyway, the whole thing was just a massive letdown and I was quite upset. But yeah, I got in the car and put my foot down and nothing happened. So that for me was instant, just no. Got back into my other car and the sound of it, the speed of it, I was like, yeah, I'm not ready to get rid of this car yet. So I didn't actually go through with it. Glad I didn't. Yeah, I just wanted the A45 so much that I was desperate enough to go for something that wasn't the A45. I don't know what was going through my mind when I was doing that because it wasn't the A45. It just looked like one. But I think what I was trying to do was I was trying to just think up an excuse so that I could get a different car and have it look the way I want it to, but it wouldn't have had the power. I would have been so upset if I'd have actually gone through with that, plus paying PCP finance, it would have been an absolute nightmare. So I'm really glad with the way things worked out. Lovely example of your car, Bryony. I'm only assuming that you're still loving it considering you've had it since 2021. From my experience, if you love a car, you keep it for years. There's no reason, if you're happy with your car, it runs great, doesn't give you any problems. There's no issue with keeping it for as long as you want to keep it. Carry on using it. You've put a lot of work into it. It's clear that you do love your car. So yeah, that basically sums it up for this video. I am hoping to do more of these. I know I keep saying that. I've got some like little side projects going on at the moment. I've recently started I've bought some stuff so that I can start doing like gaming, PC gaming, which is going to include doing live streams and stuff like that. So I'm adding a lot more to my very busy schedule, but it's all stuff I enjoy. It's my hobby and I like to share that with you. I like to create content from quite an early age. I enjoyed making videos. I've loved cars, I've loved games, horror games in particular, if anyone's wondering. If anyone is interested in that, if there's any car people watching this right now who also love gaming, what would you like to see? I'm on the fence at the moment whether, if I start streaming and it becomes successful, whether I create another channel, if I mix it into this channel, I'm not really sure yet. But if it's something that interests you, please let me know in the comments. But also, please let me know what you think of Bryony's A45 in the comments. Would you own one and why? Would you not own one and why? What in particular do you like about Bryony's A45? And let's get a discussion going. Beautiful car. I still would love to own one day, along with many different cars. So realistically, unless I do a Matt Armstrong, I can't imagine I'll be owning that many cars, but I guess who knows. So yeah, if you're still here watching, thank you very much. I hope to do another video again very soon, but thank you again and take care of yourselves.